Very good evening, viewers. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 and I am Rakshita Mishra with you for this Saturday edition, viewers. We'll start with what's happening in Bangladesh, where the targeting of Hindus continues unabated. A disturbing new clip shows how Deepu Chandra Das, the Hindu man who has been killed, was tortured before he was lynched, before he was passed on to the mob, the jihadi mob out on the streets, who tied him up to a tree and set him ablaze. They recorded clips of it. Story number 2 is how India continues to have its eyes on Aravallis, viewers. Republic's campaign Save the Aravallis. Republic's investigation continues, exposing it on camera how the illegal mining is still continuing. Also on the show, we show you how a pilot was attacked. And bus passenger was attacked by an Air India Express pilot at the Delhi airport today. And also, we show you how Rahul Gandhi is once again in trouble, as a picture of him meeting Soros aid services. BJP is training its guns on him now, calling it he's meeting the enemies of India. Story number 5 is on the tragic collision that has led to the death of 7 elephants after a train hit a herd of jumbos in Assam. And finally, we will tell you more about the Epstein files. The first trove, the initial trove, has been released, and what the questions that have been raising, we'll tell you all about that. But first, we start with the situation in the neighboring country of Bangladesh. It's on the edge. Radical extremists have taken over the streets. Jihadi mobs have taken over the streets right under the nose of Muhammad Yunus, the chief of the interim regime, who also happens to be a Nobel Peace Prize winner. His country is far from being peaceful. Elections nearing, anti-Bharat and anti-Hindu sentiments are only being fueled now. The communal fire has caused the death of an innocent Hindu man now in Bangladesh, Manmohan Singh. This clip we are going to play out shows Deepu Chandra Das being tortured inside a factory first. He's framed under false charges and then allegedly handed over. He was handed over by the police, by the authorities, to a radical Islamist mob who lynched him to death. Extremely disturbing clip. We have to blur out that visual. The question now is simple. Can Hindus ever be safe in a Bangladesh that is slipping deeper into radicalization? What's more appalling, ladies and gentlemen, is that those who harp on pseudo-secularism and talk about the so-called persecution of minorities in the country, the bigger question is, don't Hindu lives matter to them? Why no eyes on Bangladeshi Hindus, we ask.
A disturbing new video from Bangladesh has triggered national outrage. Reports suggest Hindu man Deepu Chandra was tortured and harassed inside the factory, framed under false charges, and then handed over by police to a radical Islamist mob. Deepu Chandra was a young Hindu man lynched to death, his body set ablaze by a ruthless mob. The sole breadwinner for his family did not survive the night. His killing has become the flashpoint of a wider, brutalized landscape for Hindus in Bangladesh. Streets erupting, mobs running unchecked, and attacks breaking out across Dhaka. A country on the boil, where extremists are emboldened and the interim government is failing to rein them in. And while the violence spirals, India's prominent Muslim leaders remain silent even as fear grips Bangladesh's Hindu community. The shockwaves are now spilling into India. Protests have also erupted in Jammu against the Yunus government in Bangladesh. A killing caught on camera, a nation on edge, and a question that refuses to fade. Can Hindus ever be safe in an increasingly radicalized Bangladesh?
And the other big story that we are tracking on Republic TV viewers, that's the Save the Aravallis. From the streets of Gurugram to the digital landscapes of Rajasthan, the hashtag Save Aravalli movement is gaining momentum. The Aravalli range, which stretches from Delhi and to Gujarat, is one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. And protesters argue that the ruling is a death warrant for the range, stripping protection nearly 90% of the hills. Republic TV, in fact, has found alarming evidence of the environmental damage that continues with the extent of mining, illegal mining, in the Aravalli Highlands. Republic TV, in fact, is the only channel that is on ground zero that is bringing you on camera what is happening with the Aravallis, how the illegal mining firms, the mining firms are actually killing the Aravallis. They are eating up the lungs of North India.
The Aravallis are North India's green lungs, checking desertification, regulating rainfall, and recharging groundwater for cities like Gurugram and Jaipur. But the 100-meter threshold leaves much of this ancient range unprotected, risking ecology and health hazards, an issue Republic has tracked on the ground. Residents gathered demanding ecological protection over technical classifications, warning that the Aravallis play a crucial role in controlling North India's already hazardous air quality. They are now being mined illegally in most parts along the 700-kilometer stretch.
There are people who are protesting to save Aravalli. There are people, local villagers, several individuals who've been fighting to save Aravallis, and with the latest new acceptance of the new definition of the Aravalli Hills, we know that this entire mountain range is in danger. Because around 90% of the mountain range is below 100 meters, thus it will not qualify to be a part of the Aravalli Hills. Aravalli Hills, also known as the lungs of the New Delhi NCR, also known as the lungs of the New Delhi NCR, they are in danger.
Large sections of the Aravalli Hills have been flattened to fall below the 100-meter benchmark, even as villagers allege continued illegal mining in violation of court orders.
There were hundreds of people here with us who were sharing their stories, sharing their version, how this illegal mining, even before this acceptance of the new definition by the Supreme Court, has been troubling their lives, has hugely impacted their lives. And even on this right now, I can show you, we are just near the residential area of this mining, and as per law, any blast site should be at least at a distance of around 500 meters or 1500 meters. But we are just at a mere distance of around 82 meters from the blast site. And few of the houses here, like this one, is just at a distance of 42 feet. So people here are struggling. They have serious health issues. They are having trouble breathing.
Locals say mining activity continues unchecked, causing environmental damage and serious health concerns, while powerful mining interests operate despite legal restrictions.
People are saying that it is getting difficult for them to breathe at this point because of the local factory, local cement crusher, which is just placed a few feet away from this village.
As protests intensify, the battle to save the Aravallis has become a fight for air, water and survival, raising urgent questions on environmental justice.
illegal mining all throughout the Aravalli Hills. And right now I'll show you the situation because it is caught on our camera. As you can see, there are 3 trucks. When we came here, when Republic came here, this was a well-lit area. Mining was going on. And as per the DGMC order, which is Directorate General of Mine Safety, DGMS's order, no mining is allowed post sunset. So the allowed time period is between sunrise to sunset. But we reached here around half an hour ago, and this entire area I am showing you, which is pitch dark right now, this was completely well lit. There you can see there are 3 trucks who are functioning, who are carrying out the mining, illegal mining of that sorts.
Now, a passenger at Delhi Airport Terminal 1 alleged that an off-duty pilot of the Air India Express Airlines physically assaulted him, left him bloodied after an altercation over the passenger cutting the security queue, and it escalated into a brawl. Now, he said that the airline, what we know is that the airline later said that the pilot has been removed from his official duties, he has been suspended, he has been grounded. The passenger's name is Ankit Diwan. He detailed his account in a post on X as he accused Air India Express's captain Virendra Sejwal of physically assaulting him.
A verbal spat at Delhi airport turned into a nightmare for the passenger. Beaten in front of his children and wife, the younger child, a 4-month-old in stroller. An experienced pilot has now been grounded for his conduct, which by no means suits a pilot. He assaulted a passenger at Terminal 1. The pilot, when questioned for jumping the queue, replied to the passenger in fury, "Are you an illiterate? Can't you read? This line is for staff." The passenger was instructed by the airport staff to use PRM check as he had a 4-month-old baby with him. Within seconds of the argument, the passenger was lying on the ground after the pilot landed a punch on his face. Air India has responded to the misdemeanor of the pilot, showing concern towards passenger safety. Delhi police, though aware of the assault, said it would only take action post a written complaint. While the Ministry of Civil Aviation has also taken serious cognizance of the incident and directed the airline to ground the pilot with immediate effect, a formal inquiry has been ordered.
And leader of opposition in Lok Sabha and Congress's MP Rahul Gandhi stares around yet again with his recent sighting now with the CEC trustee George Soros' aide Cornelia Wall in Berlin. As Rahul Gandhi garners flack for his repeated indulgences with those affiliated with the anti-India squad, the BJP spokesperson has publicly slammed the leader of opposition, saying that he is meeting with the enemies of the country and that he stays away and meets those who are the enemies of the country while the parliament is on. Here's more.
Leader of opposition and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is at the center of another Soros controversy. This is how the Congress leader was seen with George Soros' aide Cornelia Wall in Berlin. Cornelia is linked to Soros through the CEC. The both of them, in fact, are on the CEC Board of Trustees. This sighting had the Congress leader garner immense flack, especially from the BJP back home in India. The BJP called out Rahul Gandhi on his being in Germany at a time when he was to be in the parliament instead.
भारत की राजनीति में और जब संसद का सत्र चल रहा था तो संसद में रहने की थी, लेकिन वो विदेशी भूमि पर जर्मनी जाते हैं और जर्मनी में हर्टी स्कूल है, वहां पर मिलते हैं कॉर्नेलिया वॉल.
BJP then goes on to allege that Rahul Gandhi always happens to meet those who are against India as he addresses George Soros to be giving funds to the Central European University.
संसद का सत्र शुरू होने जा रहा होता है या चल रहा होता है तो विदेशी धरती पर जाते हैं और जो भारत के शत्रु हैं, जो भारत से ईर्ष्या करते हैं, हमारी अखंडता पे प्रहार करते हैं, उनके साथ मिलते हैं, बातचीत करते हैं।
The BJP there went on to accuse Rahul Gandhi on his repeated instances of affiliating with the anti-Indian sentiment, as he slams the leader of opposition to be shamelessly indulging in activities and meets against the country.
ये बार बार अभी कोलंबिया गए राहुल गांधी, अक्टूबर 2025 की ही बात है। तो क्या कहा राहुल गांधी ने? राहुल गांधी बोले देयर इज अ होलसेल अटैक ऑन डेमोक्रेसी इन इंडिया। थोक में भारत के लोकतंत्र पे प्रहार हो रहा है। लेकिन ये प्रहार अगर आप कह रहे हो रहा है तो ये तो विदेशी भूमि से नेता प्रतिपक्ष नकली गांधी खुद राहुल गांधी कर रहे हैं।
The centre recalled that as of late, Rahul Gandhi was in Colombia earlier this year at a time when the democracy was in danger. This is as he at last addresses how India has only grown in the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and how Rahul Gandhi is unhappy about it. All eyes are now on Rahul Gandhi as a word is awaited from him and Congress on the end of the fresh controversy.
Now, a tragic incident in Assam has raised serious concerns over wildlife safety along the railway tracks. At least 7 elephants were killed after a speeding train collided with a herd of elephants in the Kanpur Jamunamukh area of Assam's Hojai district amid poor visibility. The impact was so severe that 5 coaches and the engine of the Sairang New Delhi Rajdhani Express were derailed, disrupting train movement on the route. More in this report. A freight train stands frozen in the mist, and beside the railway tracks lie 7 fallen giants. In a single collision, speed met survival, and the cost was enormous. At least 7 elephants were killed. They were trying to cross the tracks when hit. The collision took place after a herd of jumbos was hit by the Sairang New Delhi Rajdhani Express due to low visibility in Assam's Hojai district. 5 coaches and the train's engine were also derailed. Lifeless bodies of the elephants lying on the train tracks were surrounded by people. The accident has left the train movement disrupted. Forest and railway officials are working closely to investigate the cause as it raises concern over wildlife safety along railway tracks. Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, says his state government has initiated an inquiry and that steps are being taken to secure wildlife corridors.
The Anand Vihar Sairang Express collided with a herd of elephants on Saturday early morning. As a result of the collision, 7 elephants died on the spot, whereas 1 elephant died in a facility nearby. It may be mentioned that as a result of the collision, 5 courses of the Anand Vihar Sairang Rajdhani Express also got derailed. The rescue operations were underway and the efforts are being put in to restore operations of the railways. The entire railway route across the northeast has been disrupted because of this derailment.
Now, the US Department of Justice released and published thousands of files related to Jeffrey Epstein, a release long anticipated for its potential to reveal new details about the late sex offender and his connections to powerful people. But it was clear soon after that the release would fall far short of those expectations. The partial release have garnered immense criticism. It shows a lot of Bill Clinton in the pictures. There's a lot of prominence of Bill Clinton, but there's much less of Trump. That is raising many questions as well. But many disturbing pictures have also come to light in this first release of the Epstein files. Here's more.
Amid much anticipation, the US Justice Department released an initial tranche of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein on Friday, the 19th of December. The documents, which include photos, videos, and investigative files, were highly anticipated after the US Congress passed a law mandating the files to be released in their entirety by Friday. From former US President Bill Clinton to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and musicians like Mick Jagger and Michael Jackson, the files revealed the involvement of multiple personalities of eminence. The release, however, was soon realized to have fallen short of people's expectations. This is as a file dump, which was dominated mainly by photographs, but also including call logs, court records, and other documents, have many details heavily redacted.
Just put out the files and stop redacting names that don't need to be redacted. It's just, who are we trying to protect? Are we protecting the survivors, or are we protecting these elite men that need to be put out there? And people need to know these are predators that are in the files. They need to be brought to justice so they can stop doing this in the long run. It's for everyone's safety at the end of the day.
The visuals released also included a few photos of US President Donald Trump. Trump, once a close friend of Epstein, fought for months to prevent the release of the records related to the investigation of Epstein, who died in a New York jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. It wasn't until the pressure from the Congress was as immense that the Republican president eventually caved in and signed a law last month compelling publication of the materials. The White House said the release of the files, mandated by a law passed by the Congress, shows how the Trump administration is the most transparent in history. Consequent to the partial release, however, Democrats and some Republicans have come forth accused the Department of Justice for violating its legal obligations after it said it would not be able to release all the documents by the deadline. In fact, criminal defense attorney John Day called out the Justice Department, calling for an issuance of a list of documents not released with corresponding justifications.
They're not required to release a list of what they're not releasing, and that's where the problems arise, and that's where the suspicion would continue to grow, because we don't know what we don't know about the documents that were kept back. And so it's up to the Department of Justice. It's basically the honor system saying, okay, these materials relate to victims, so they're kept back. These materials relate to kept back. But again, it's up to the people who are making those decisions to say whether or not those exceptions follow the law. So it's not going to reassure a lot of people that this has been done scrupulously and appropriately, because there's going to be so much material that's not being released, so much material that's redacted, that it's certainly going to feed suspicions that something's going on.
All eyes are now on the Justice Department, as it said it will continue releasing documents in the weeks ahead.
Republic TV will be continuing to get you a lowdown of all the top stories that we're tracking for you. But that's all in this edition of 6 Stories at 6 from our side, viewers. On the other side, we will be getting you the latest on our sports. Thanks for watching.